Tonight, WWE Raw went head-to-head with TNA Impact for the second week in a row. Who had the better show? Who got the better grade? Right here, right now, it's your Raw and Impact review from Big Al and the Kick-Ass Wrestling Show.
What you want? What you want?
WWE Raw went head-to-head once again with TNA Impact. Let's find out who had the better show, who's going to get the better grade. We start tonight off with WWE Raw and the big return of Stone Cold Steve Austin. Austin came out to start the show to a huge pop. You know everyone loves Stone Cold Steve Austin. He came out, had a few things to say about he was going to be officiating the contract signing pretty much between Bret Hart and Vince McMahon later in the show. He had a couple, shots to take at Vince McMahon. He also said that, he'll pull out every trick in the book, and he got a pretty decent promo. Then John Cena came out, and I thought Cena was going to confront or try to talk to Steve Austin. Austin just took off. He didn't want anything to do with him. It would have been an interesting little mixing there of the PG era meeting the Attitude era, although we didn't see Austin flip anyone off, so we did not see the middle finger. I don't know. I guess that was too PG-13 for WWE Raw last night because, I'm sure Austin wanted to. Anyway, I thought the beginning segment was great. I thought Austin coming out is always good. He didn't do too much tonight. I wish he would have done a little bit more, but I was still happy just to have Austin. Later on in the show, we had the contract signing. He got in there with Vince McMahon. That was a nice moment. They still have that chemistry together. Such great entertainers. Vince McMahon and Steve Austin, they're really the reason that the WWE was able to beat WCW back in the 90s. That chemistry between those two and that boss wrestler storyline really resonated, and it was good to see them in the ring together. Although the interaction, again, wasn't much. He told McMahon to sit his ass down, and it was still nice to see them together there, but not much Austin tonight. I would have liked to see a little more, but I'm still happy he returned. Why not bring him back for WrestleMania? That would be an awesome special appearance to have, kind of like Hogan, WrestleMania, I think it was 21 when he came out, to just get the save on... Jesus, what was the guy's name? I'm drawing a blank here. He saved the... Forget it. Eugene! What the hell's wrong with me? 21, when he saved Eugene. Okay? That would be cool, but I'm not holding my breath. We also had a bunch of WrestleMania rematches, which I thought were all pretty good. The Big Show took on John Cena. We didn't see much. This was during a commercial, but it was okay. Batista distracted John Cena, and Big Show got the win. That was a decent little build, and at least say what you want about the WWE, but each week they're at least sticking to their storylines. Batista's been going at John Cena, McMahon's been going at Hart, HBK's been going at Taker, and they're continuing those storylines. They don't have their wrestlers all of a sudden go off into some other territory and feud and start caring about something else and then come back to this feud. That's really the problem with TNA. But we'll get into that in a minute. So that was a pretty decent match. Jericho and HBK was a good match. It wasn't very long, but again, I'm not going to complain. It was on free TV, and I was just happy, to have anything. That's a good match, and you should be happy anytime you get something like that on a regular program. Triple H took on Randy Orton. That was the best part of the show for me. I liked seeing that match, but even more than that, I liked when Legacy came out to jump Orton. Triple H got involved, but then Sheamus came out. So next week, we have a match. Triple H, Randy Orton, old buddies from the Evolution days, taking on Sheamus and both members of Legacy, Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase. That should be awesome. We also have a match made for WrestleMania. Orton is going to be taking on Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase in a triple threat match. Okay, so three-way match. Are they going to double team Randy Orton? Are they going to pound him? Is one going to get greedy and try to get the victory? That should be a cool match to watch. We knew they were headed in that direction. One of my followers on Twitter had an awesome idea, but they would never do it. Have all of them bring their dads back for how about a triple threat tag team match? Dusty Rhodes, Ted DiBiase, and Cowboy Bob Orton. Why not? I know that none of those guys are going to wrestle, but it'd be kind of cool, even just to have him there. How about as a manager? Or they all bring their dads down to help them in that match. That should happen. That would be awesome. But it probably won't. Anyway, those 3 WrestleMania rematches from WrestleMania's past were awesome. Even though they weren't long and, these 20, 25, 30-minute brawls, they were still very good, and I was glad to have them on free TV. So I'm not going to complain about it. And I thought, the WrestleMania hype was good. Overall, there was a lot of things I liked about Raw tonight. I thought all the wrestling was good, like I said. All those rematches were pretty good. I was very happy to see Steve Austin again, although I would have liked to see him more. He at least is back for one day. And I love that Randy Orton and Triple H are going to be teaming up next week. And I think all the WrestleMania build that they did this week was good. They've been doing very good at that. They know how to build up their matches. So I've been very pleased with Raw as far as at least following the feuds and following those storylines. The bad, this was still a very basic show. This was nothing revolutionary. This was nothing mind-blowing. This was nothing really different. It was a good show, but nothing, outside of the box here. Very basic feud building, very basic rivalry building, booking 101 going on in the WWE. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's better than, some of the booking we see at other times. So I also didn't like that they didn't use Austin too much, but I'll let that slide because I was just happy to see him. And the invasion angle, they had this little invasion angle where Layla and Michelle McCool showed up to, I guess, beat up Raw's divas, and Vicky Guerrero was there, and she's happy about it. I guess so anyone can do a crossover, so why do we even have a draft? Why do we even have brands? I don't understand some of that stuff. But overall, this was a good Raw. I liked almost everything. I'm going to give tonight's Raw a solid B+. Okay, that's it. I can't give it an A. It's still not that perfect show. Although they had some good matches, they didn't have that one standout match. Very basic booking. They could have used Austin a lot more. But this was a great show. Definitely no complaints from me. If Raw did this every week, I would be more than a happy wrestling fan. So even though it's basic, that's fine. It worked. And welcome back, even if it's just for one night, to Stone Cold Steve Austin.